We're here for Monday with the Mayor. We're in the city of Jasper, but today we're actually with Utilities General Manager Bud Hauersperger. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
We have several projects going on in Jasper. You've been really busy. One of the main things you guys have been working on lately is that water line project. Would you care to share a little bit about that?
Okay, it's most of it's going to be in the State Highway 231, and the reason we are doing it now, well, there's two reasons. One, it's an old water main, back vintage 1939-40. The pipes were purchased during the war, and there was restrictions on steel and everything. So I think the pipes were actually bought through Montgomery wards. So it's they aren't the highest quality pipes, and we've had issues with them over the years. So we're planning to, well, the State Highway too would like to repave that section of 231. So to avoid having them pave it, and then we have a bunch of water main breaks and we have to dig it up and patch it. We're trying to get all of our work done underground, so that once the highway comes in and does their repaving, that it'll stay as nice as possible for as long as possible. No guarantees that we won't have any sewer main breaks or something else break, but at least we're going to try to keep the water main, replace it with a higher grade, and we're going to upsize the pipe too a little bit, going from like an 8-inch to 12-inch in some areas to allow for future expansion and help with pressure, and just upgrade the system altogether.
Okay, and this is about, Mayor Size was telling me this is about a 2-mile project. About from where to what point does it run?
Okay,
in total?
we decided to break it up into segments, and right now segment 1, so to speak, is on 6th Street, and it goes from Bartley Street to Newton Street. Segment 2 would go from like 2nd Street to the south on US, well, that part is actually 162, but it'll go from 2nd Street all the way up to 15th Street. And then segment 3 will be from Matthew Avenue, which probably nobody ever knows. It's just like a little 1-block street. It's up by the water tower on top of Reeder's Hill. We'll go from there all the way to 30th Street, and then there's a piece on 30th Street also that we'll be replacing.
Okay, and the main part you guys are kind of working on, is it starts around DQ and kind of comes over to the courthouse? Yes,
yeah, that's the 6th Street part. That'd be segment 1. And they're anxious to get started on it. The schedule, we want everything done by end of July next year. We're trying to work around Strassenfest because we know that's a kind of a busy time. So we're this first segment, the 6th Street segment from Bartley to Newton Street courthouse. We've had that contractors worked on a schedule for that piece of it, so it looks like they would like to start around October 1st and end around November 30th, so 2 months is what it's kind of a test one to see how it goes along, and we're working on traffic control, and maybe are going to, and each one, that segment, the first segment is going to be divided into sections. Okay. So there's going to be like 3 sections. So what they will do is they will dig up the pavement and install the pipe in one section of the segment, like 1/3 of it, and then like fill that pipe with water, treat it, make sure it's good, and connect the customers that are on that piece. And that way they can kind of backfill it, close it back up, and kind of open that piece of the road back up, and then move to the next section, and then to the next section, and kind of do the same process throughout the whole thing. And that's probably how that will hopefully, help people who live along there, or the streets that connect there won't be closed for too long, maybe for a couple weeks, or we can work with them easier than closing the whole stretch down. And it won't be closed all the way. Hopefully we'll just work in 1 lane. There's really 3 lanes. And so we'll keep 2 of the lanes open. probably will restrict left turns and things so we don't get backups, and try to keep traffic moving as good as we can.
Okay, I got you. And then as far as demolition is going on right now too, kind of at the power plant, a lot of the work outside, like the tower came down and everything, but the work's kind of moved indoors.
Correct. It's the cooling tower. People, when they say tower, they think the stack. The smokestack is still there, but the cooling tower was a kind of it's like your condensing unit on your house. It kind of takes all the heat and cools it and you reuse it. But that piece is completely gone now. There's some other pieces on the outside that they want to take down here probably in the next week or so. And we'll just leave kind of the bulk of the building that had the boiler and the generator and the turbine and everything. And you're right, they have been kind of taking out wire and motors and things that they can salvage out of the power plant. But it's going to be a while before the power plant building itself starts to come down, because they want to keep kind of the structure there while they're kind of salvaging the pieces out of it. That will probably, the smokestack probably will be one of the last things that they take down. So some people are anxious to see that come down or see how they're going to do it, but that's going to be a while. They have until, right now the schedule, they're supposed to be done around January or December or January.
Okay, and then for those who might not know, would you care to kind of just review kind of what's happening with that area? Part of it may be partially used by the highway department, is that correct?
No, the street department, which is using it for salt storage. There was some old coal bunkers that we used to use for coal storage. They've converted that and put a roof over it, and they're using it. There's 4 sections, and one of them's full of ice melt material, and I noticed they've been using one of the other ones just for topsoil, and another one for fill soil, so that they can, when they're doing their construction projects, on that side of town, it's quicker to run over there and get a load of dirt and then go all the way back to the street department. So they're going to keep that part of it. The rest of it, the Parks Department said they would like to maintain that parking lot that they have there for the Riverwalk. There's talk of maybe even putting a shelter house or restrooms or something in that area. But the rest of it, where the power plant is now, will be completely leveled. And we're keeping some of the concrete parking lot that's in good shape, but most of it will be hopefully seeded with grass, and we'll have a grassy field there next spring.
Okay. Any advice or anything you'd like to say to local residents and stuff as all these projects are going underway?
Well, the power plant's kind of, isolated, and it's we don't expect any major concerns from the public. Well, there may be some larger pieces of equipment that they want to move, which may be blocking traffic for a few hours or something, just to get those through the city and get them out of town. So that project isn't going to be the headache. I think the other project, everybody's aware that it's going to be problematic with the traffic, because it is a main artery through town. So the plan is to put it all online. We're working on that right now, kind of an interactive map where you can pick certain areas to see what's going on, and we're going to try to give updates. We're creating a communication plan, and maybe we'll talk to some of the major employers and kind of let them know up front, so that they can tell their employees that this piece is like a 15th and Newton. We know that's going to be congested when we have to work in that area. Let them know to look for an alternate route if at all possible, so we can just minimize the congestion in those areas.
All right, and then is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think I've created enough messes, so that ought to take care of it.
Definitely a busy time of year. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
You're welcome.
This has been Monday with the Mayor. We're here in Jasper. For 18 WJTS News, I'm Jurnee Davis.